let me introduce myself first. I am Ganesh, history faculty at Shankar Ayers Academy, and I am going to teach you the history of the world, or we called it as world history, whatever it may be. Okay, so the subject what we are going to discuss is the world history subject. Okay, myself, I completed my graduation in Bachelor of Engineering at Konga Engineering College, and after my graduation, I worked as a design engineer for few years. I quit my job, and after that, I came for the civil service preparation. In the civil service preparation, I gave my first prelims in 2004. I never got through in that. And very next year, in 2005, I wrote my first mains. In the mains, I was not got through into that. 2006, that was my first mains, second mains, and also I got very good marks in that. But anyhow, I was very just near to the interview marks. 2007, I got very good marks. After that, 2008, 2009, 2010, I went for 3 interviews. One was with the board of Chalam. He was the UPSC chairman at the time. 2009, it was Vijay Singh Board, who was the Defense Secretary of India, and later he was made as a member of UPSC. Vijay Singh was a very good man. And 2010, it was belonged to the board of the Shakil Iyer. So 3 interviews I went that. After that, I had few more attempts, but I quitted it. And immediately after that, I came for the teaching profession. And in 2013, when the new subject was introduced in the UPSC main subject, that is the history of the world in the mains examination, I joined with Shankar Ayers Academy. So I have been associated with Shankar Ayers Academy since 2013. It's a very long journey with Shankar Ayers Academy. Usually, in the Shankar Ayers Academy, here, I used to teach history of the world history. I do the discussions of modern India question papers and ancient and medieval India discussions and mains modern India discussions. Like this I will do. So my part is with the history, current affairs and other things here in the Shankar Ayers Academy. Okay, that's about me. Okay, come to the subject. So what we are going to discuss is a new subject, that is the history of world. The history of the world. This is what the subject we are going to discuss for few classes. We are very familiar with this subject of history. It is not a new one to us. We have been associated with this subject since our school days. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. We are very familiar with the history. So it is not a new one. It is a familiar friend of us. Don't need to panic here. And also, I came to know that modern India is completed for you. Yes, modern India is completed for you people. So you are very, very familiar with this part of the history. What we are going to do here is we are going to see the history in the perspective of the world. That is the world history. That is what we are going to discuss. That is what we are going to do here. Okay. Where the subjects come? This subjects comes in the General Studies paper 1. General Studies paper 1 in main. So for the main, it comes under the General Studies paper 1. How many marks for this general studies paper? I know you people all know about these things, the structure of the syllabus and all those things. But anyhow, I revise once again for you. In this general studies paper, we have 250 marks. 250 marks and 3 hours duration for this paper. So the marks is 250 and the duration of hour is 3 hours for this paper of general studies paper 1. This is the one. How many questions are asking in this general studies paper 1? The number of questions asking is 20 questions. 20 questions. Okay. In these 20 questions, how many questions are from the history of the world? How many of this from this history of the world? Most probably 2 to 4 questions. 2 to 4 questions are asking from this history of the world. So probably lesser number minimum is 2 and greater number of question is 4. So 2 to 4 questions are asking from this general studies paper 1 from the part of the history of the world. Clear? I think you all know clear about this one. Okay, next. What are the subjects in the general studies paper 1? GS paper. What are the subjects? As per the order of the syllabus. As per the order of the syllabus. Heritage and culture. This is nothing but art and culture. Heritage and culture. Next one, modern India. Modern India. Next one, post-independence consolidation. Post-independence consolidation. Post-independence consolidation. And then history of the world. Okay, and then I use this part. Okay, and next one, special feature of Indian society. Special feature of Indian society. Next one, special feature of world geography. Special feature of the world geography. Okay, this is the components under the general studies paper 1. So what are the subjects are completed for you? This modern India is completed for you people. This is completed for you. And then you are going through the classes of map reading and other things for this batch. This is the special feature of the world geography. This is what you have completed for. This is undergoing. You are undergoing here. And you are familiar with the ancient and medieval India class, which is integrated part of here, the heritage and the culture here. This is also you are undergoing here. Now we are going to see here the history of the world. This is what we are going to discuss now. This is what we are going to discuss. Clear? Understand one thing. See here, this is history. This is history. This is history, this is history, and this is history. So in our general studies paper 1, history plays a majority role. History plays a majority role because 4 history subjects are involved here. If you understand history very well, the ancient medieval, modern India, post-independence consolidation, and the history of the world, you can able to score a very, very good marks there. Clear? Very, very good marks there. And this is Indian society. That's you come across in the later time. Okay? And this is geography subject. This is about the syllabus what we are having in general studies paper 1. In this only we are going to see the history of the world. Now we go into the subject of history of the world. What is the syllabus? Okay. History of the world. What is this world history? And you don't get confused. Don't get confused. If you see the syllabus, in the syllabus, they would say as history of the world. But in other books, they printed as world history. As world history. Sir, what is the difference between these two? I am getting confused. This is world history, and here it is history of the world. What is the difference? No difference, nothing. The same. Same. No need to worry about things. Don't get confused because of this one. Okay. So that is the history of the world. Okay. Here in this history of the world, what we are going to see, in this history of the world, we are going to discuss about the history of the world. In this world, we are having the Europe, United States of America, and Latin America. Latin America means, don't get confused, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Chile, all these are considered called as Latin America. And then Africa, and Africa, Asia, Australia. So the history of all these countries are combined together, and we collectively called it as history of the world. Here we are going to study about the history of collectively of all these things in the history of the world. Sir, we have to study all these things? No, not necessary. For that only UPSC has given a syllabus for the main. Not necessary to read the history of Latin America, USA, and Europe, Africa, like this larger part. We don't need to study large. The UPSC has given a syllabus. What is the syllabus for this history of the world, which is given by UPSC for the main examination? Syllabus is very simple. That is, starting from the 18th century, starting from the 18th century, events like Industrial Revolution, World Wars, colonization, decolonization, political philosophies, like capitalism, socialism, etc. This is the syllabus. Understand? This is the syllabus. What guideline UPSC has given? The UPSC has given a guideline where we have to start 18th century. Starting point. Starting point. Clear? Understand? Starting point, that is where we have to start. 18th century, that is the starting point for our syllabus. From that only they are going to ask the questions. That is 18th century, that is the starting point. Sir, UPSC has given a starting point. Where is the end point? Where is the end point? Here also UPSC has given a guideline. See here, decolonization. Decolonization, that is the ending point. Sir, when decolonization happened, what is this decolonization? Very simple. Big, strong countries captured the smallest country or weaker country. That is colony. Modern India, you know that. In modern India, India was one of a colony of the British. When we got independence after Second World War. When this decolonization ended? 1990s. So, the decolonization was around 1991. 1991. Last colony completely decolonized was in around 1991. So, we have to start from 18th century and we have to end in the 1991. This is where we have to start and end. Clear? Clear? Got into? Got that? Okay. So, syllabus 18th century ended with the decolonization, the last colony to get decolonized, 1991. Okay. Come to the point. Come to the point. What are the subjects we are going, what are the things we are going to discuss here in the class? What are the topics we are going to discuss here in this class? I will also give you that one. First one, that is American Revolution. What is the reason for the American Revolution? Why American Revolution started? What is the reason for that? Why the American people started a revolution? Here we are going to discuss about the American Revolution. Next one, the French Revolution. The French Revolution. The French Revolution. Why the French people? Very good people of Europe, France people. They are known for culture. They were known for very calmness. They are very good people. But one day suddenly they took the arms and they started to fight against the king and they killed the king and they have completely demolished everything and they become a revolutionaries. That is what we are going to see here. French Revolution. Why? Why people suddenly, a very good and calm people suddenly one day broke everything and they started to revolutionize against the state. That is the French Revolution. Here we are going to discuss about the French Revolution. Third one, after French Revolution, how Europe was post French Revolution. Post French Revolution. Post French Revolution. This time period, post when French Revolution was between 1815 to 1850. 1815 to 1850. Fourth one, unification of Germany. Unification of Germany and Italy. Unification of Germany and Italy. We know that Germany is known for what? Germany is known for what? Germany is known for World War I. Germany is known for World War II. And other thing, Germany is known for what? Another most important interesting feature. The cake what we are eating. The cake what we are eating. You know that? Black Forest? The Black Forest cake. The Black Forest cake, its origin point was where? It was from Germany. Because in Germany, the frost means what? The snow covered in the forest. It was in the black color. That's why it was called as Black Forest. Origin point was where? That was in the Germany. And unification of Italy. What is that Italy? Italy is known for Rome, Julius Caesar, Roman Empire. And another interesting feature of Italy is what? Very well known to us, we people of generation. Of course, your generation, I also come along with your generation, and it is known for pizza. Pizza, another one. That is what we call it as pizza. Okay, so Margherita pita, pizza, that is called. So Italy is known for what? That pizza and other thing. That is that Italy, how it became a strongest state. That is unification of Italy. We are going to see here. Another one, imperialism. Imperialism. This is one topic we are going to discuss later. Imperialism. Next one. Imperialism. We see the definition, meaning and other thing later. Imperialism. Okay. So next one here. Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution. You can add one more thing here along with this: imperialism and colonization. Colonization. Okay. Imperialism and colonization. 7th. Imperialism and colonization, industrial revolution. World War I. World War I. Here in this World War, we are going to discuss causes of World War, course of the World War, and then consequences of the World War. All these things we are going to discuss here. The World War I. I think you people are very familiar with the World War I. Have you watched the YouTube? Have you watched the Shankar IAS Academy's YouTube? That is the history of pandemic, which was posted by me. Have you watched that? In that, what are the things we are facing now? COVID-19. What we have to maintain? Social distancing, covering the mask, maintaining personal hygiene, like washing hand, personal hygiene, like this thing. How that is related to World War I? In World War I, there was a kind of pandemic was broke out that was called Spanish flu. Because of the Spanish flu, the entire world was shaken like this one. The same things what we are following today was issued by the orders were issued by the government. That was face mask, social distancing, personal hygiene. All public places were shut. Theaters, shops, churches, temples, schools, colleges, public offices, everything was shut down. How many years? It was almost 3 years they did it. After that only world recovered. So that was related here with the World War I, the Spanish. We going to touch that here. World War I, first great war of the world. First great war of world which saw. That was called the World War I. Okay. Next one. The world between the wars. The world between the wars. This World War was between 1914 to 1919. So here, world between the wars, 1919 to 1939. How? The world between two wars, that is very simple, 9 to 1. The Second World War. The Second World War. The Second World War. Here also we are going to see the causes, course of the Second World War, consequences of the Second World War. So we are going to discuss, that is 1939 to 1945. 1945 World War. Clear? Okay. Next one. The Cold War. Next one. The Cold War. 1945 to 1991. What is this Cold War? Cold War, you know, very familiar word with this. Daily when we open the newspaper, this word come across. That is Cold War. Even if it don't come across, be very familiar in our house itself. When father and mother gets fight, we called it as it's a Cold War between father and mother. Cold War. There is a fight. Indirect war. Not a direct confrontation between the two. No one is throwing anything, but silently opposing each other, facing each other. That is what we called it as the Cold War. That is the Cold War. That is the Cold War. Next one. Decolonization. Decolonization. That is the decolonization. Okay. The last topic. Non-aligned movement, NAM. I think you know about that word NAM. You come across in bilateral relation class also. But now here we are going to see from the historical perspective, not in bilateral perspective. NAM. NAM means, if your people are not understand, I will write it here. Non-aligned movement. Non-aligned movement. That we called it as a NAM. Understand? We are going to see only the historical perspective of the NAM, not the bilateral relation, because that comes under paper 2, which your class is completed with yesterday itself. Okay, bilateral class. So NAM, non-aligned movement. So these are all the topics what we are going to discuss under the history of world. Understand? I have not entered into the subject till. What is the subject? It comes under where in general studies paper? It comes under paper 1 for main examination. What are the other subjects in paper 1? We discussed that. What is the syllabus of this history of the world? We saw that. 18th century starting point, ending with the decolonization 1991. That we discussed. What are the topics we are going to discuss for the class? 12 topics. That is what we have seen so far. Clear? Clear? Okay, I think so. You people are very clear about this one. Okay, now we are slowly entering into the subject. I will be very slow. Okay, don't get panic. I am not going to go fast. I will go very slow because many people are there. Some people know the history part, some people may not. So for those people, I have to maintain a certain space, certain pace also, speed. So I go very slow. Okay. History of world. This history of the world can be classified into ancient world history, ancient world history, medieval world history, and modern world history. Clear? So, ancient world history, medieval world history, modern world history. For our UPSC syllabus, UPSC is asking us to read the modern world history. This is what for our UPSC syllabus. But what the problem here is, we cannot directly go and jump into this modern world. We cannot directly go and jump, because if we directly go and jump into the modern world history, we may not understand what was happened here in medieval world, what was happened in the ancient world. We get confused. So what I am going to do is, I am going to revise. That is, I am going to revise this part of ancient and this part of the modern world history. Revise. Just I'm going to touch important event which is necessary for our modern world history. Understand? Clear? Once again I am saying, I am going to revise ancient and medieval world history for our understanding with the modern world history. That is, I am going to revise here. Okay, so just I am going to touch it. We are very familiar with this ancient world and this medieval world. Okay, just like a story, you heard this one. Okay, touching only important event. Clear? Okay, revising. What we are going to see in this ancient world history, it is starting from 6th century BC to this 5th century AD. Immediately around this medieval world history starts from the 6th century AD to that medieval world comes around 13th century or 12th. Let me clearly put it to you. Don't get. I will clearly put it to you. Wait. See here. 6th century BC to 5th century AD. Immediately from there, 12th century AD. From there, 1991, that is, we are going to see the syllabus here. Okay, and certain understandings here. Okay, you know that what is mean by BC. BC means before Christ, before the birth of Jesus Christ. That is what we called it as a BC. After the birth of Jesus Christ, we called it as Anno Domini. That is AD. Okay, so 6th BC to 5th century AD, 5th century AD to 12th century AD, from almost 12th century AD that got into our syllabus. Sir, you told me that our syllabus starts with the 18th century. But here you have given it as 12th century. Yes. 12th, 18th century only syllabus directly. But we cannot directly go there in 18th century. Certain things, basic things we need to understand, which is integrated with the subjective part. That is, from the 13th century it started. So it is necessary for us to know what happened in 13th century. Along with that, we have to go for 18th century. While I am taking the class, definitely you will understand it. Clear? While I am taking the class or topic, you definitely understand with this one. Okay, that is for this part of the modern world. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now, what is this ancient part? How this? I will tell you. Now, we are going to discuss the ancient part. Ancient part. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to discuss ancient world. Understand? This ancient world covers from 6th century before the birth of Jesus Christ to the 5th century after the birth of the Jesus Christ. Okay. Just we are going to revise. Okay. Just we are going to revise these things. Okay. Understand? Like a story I will tell you, just understand it. We know that the first great empire was established here from the part of the Greece. From the Greece, a very large empire was established in the 6th and the 5th century AD. We know a very great gentleman warrior who came to India, that was Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great from Macedonia came and established a very great empire in the 5th and the 4th century AD, and that was the first great empire, that was the Greek Empire. The Greek Empire was the first great empire which was established in the 5th and the 6th century AD. So that it was happened there. And 5th, 6th, after the death, we know that after the death of the Alexander, the Greek Empire was broken into various parts. In India, you come across in ancient India, Chandragupta Maurya established the Mauryan Empire here. Okay. After the death of Alexander only, by defeating one Alexander general Seleucus Nicator, you come across in ancient India. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. A small technical issue. We have corrected it. I will revise where we left. Okay, here. The Greek Empire, which was established by Alexander the Great after his death, was broken into several pieces. Several pieces. It was broken. And this was happened between the 3rd century to the 4th century, 3rd into the 2nd century BC. That is the 3rd century to the 2nd century birth of the Jesus Christ. Okay, this was happened. By the time when the Greek Empire was suddenly broken into several pieces, another empire in the 2nd century AD with the capital of Rome was establishing another great empire here from the Rome, and that was called as a Roman Empire here, the Rome. The Rome Empire was starting from the base of Rome in Italy, and it was establishing a very great empire there, and it was establishing throughout this area, and that it was the great Roman Empire. And this Roman Empire was having this part of the territory, and this part of the territory that the Roman Empire was having. So this was around the 2nd century BC. Roman Empire. Roman Empire. We know Roman Empire, the very great people like Julius Caesar, Augustus, Antony, and all these people were associated with the Roman Empire. So this Roman Empire was establishing, just to see the territorial extent of the Roman Empire. Vast empire, a very vast Roman Empire here, with Rome as a base. After the decline of the Greek Empire, that was the first great one, Roman Empire. Okay, this is political. Okay, this is political. Okay, see what is a, I think you have started with the geography class. Here, the people here in the Europe was in very cold place. They can't be able to preserve their food materials for very long period. They killed animals and took the meat. How they preserved it? Like us. What is a preservatory in those time, ancient world? The very good preservatory was spices. Yes, pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, spices. How, if you see any of the movies, the Roman generals, Roman soldiers would wear a silk cloth. Where they got the silk cloth? How they got preserved their meat? Trade. So now we are going to shifting to the trade here. How they trade that? Silk is known from where? Silk is known from China. India is known for what? Spices. Now, the Indian merchants and the Chinese people have traded the silk along with the land route, and the Indians have connected to this route, and it was passing over the Karakoram range, and it reached the Baghdad. Here Baghdad, Syria. From there, they carried on these things through the Rome by ship. This route, what we called it as a Silk Route. Silk Route. I think you come across in the current affairs also, New Silk Route. Ancient India also you are going to come across Silk Route. Okay, coming back. So the trade was, what my point here is, silk of China, spices of India was traded to the Romans. And what the Romans gave to India? Romans gave the most important thing, what? In summer, our body gets sweat. in order to suppress the sweat and the odor of the sweat, we use the perfume. What the Europeans gave for these Romans gave for these people of Indians, that is the scented perfumes and other luxurious goods. Okay, so here the Roman Empire was established, and the Romans have trade with China and with India. That is what we need to understand. Keep it in mind. What we need to keep it in mind, Roman Empire was present. Roman Empire was a very great empire. Roman Empire traded with China and India. What they traded? They traded spices with India. They traded silk with China. In return, what they gave to Indians and the Chinese? Perfumes and other luxurious goods. Okay. Around 1st century AD, another important incident was happened in the Middle East. Now I am shifting to Middle East. In the Middle East, there is a town that is called Jerusalem. In the Jerusalem, a baby boy was born. Everyone believed that baby boy was considered to be as a Messiah. What is that Messiah? He was considered to be as a messenger of God. It was told like that. So that boy was nothing. That boy was the Jesus Christ. So in the 1st century AD, in Bethlehem, near the Jerusalem, a boy was born who was considered to be as a messenger of God, who was going to relieve this world from all problems. That was Jesus Christ, 1st century AD. Suddenly, the boy, along with the parents, was disappeared. At the age of 7, the boy worked along with his father. His father was a carpenter. You know that. Joseph was a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. The boy was facing certain difficulty. The Roman kings and the generals found that boy was considered to be as a Messiah, so they wanted to kill that boy. From the age of 7, that boy, along with the family, disappeared once again. After many years, there was nothing news about that boy. No news. At the age of 32, that boy came to Jerusalem, a well-grown-up man, Jesus Christ, came to Jerusalem, and he started to preach. That is, what he preached, don't follow. You know that. What is a God? What are the gods of Indians? We have separate God for fire, Agni. We have separate God for rain, separate God for wind. We have separate God for fertility. We have separate God for agriculture. We have separate God for everything. We have multi-gods. That is polytheism we are. Like that, Romans also worshipped multiple gods. Polytheism, multiple gods. Okay, that you keep it in mind. Okay, that boy, when the Roman kings asked that well-grown-up man, Jesus Christ, to worship our God, he told that, no, I won't worship your God, because my God is in heaven. My God is different. I want to worship your Roman God. I don't accept your God. He told that. Roman kings were shocked to hear this one. The Roman governors were shocked to hear this one. How can you say that? How can you say that you are not going to worship our God? You are not respecting our king also. No, this is not correct. No, what I am doing is correct. I won't accept your king as my king, because my king is my Lord, which is in heaven. My God is is in heaven. This is not my God. I won't accept you this thing. For that only he was charged and he was sentenced to crucifixion. He was crucified. On the day of crucifixion, he told that I will resurrected on the third day. I will resurrected on the third day. On the day of the crucifixion, in the evening, Jesus Christ was died. He was crucified and he was died. In the evening, he was died. His body was taken from the cross and he was put it into the nearby one cave, and the cave was closed. Third day, some ritual they have to do. The Jesus Christ sister and the father, mother, everyone came there to do the ritual. They were shocked because the cave stone was not there, and the body of Jesus Christ was not there, and the body completely disappeared. That's all. So they believed that he was resurrected. Now they believed that he is the most powerful. He was considered to be as a Messiah. Jesus Christ and his disciples believed that Jesus Christ was a Messiah and he was a messenger of the God. And now they started to propagate the religion of Jesus Christ, his faith and belief. Now, what my point here is spread of Christianity. Now Christianity started to spread. It started to attack the multiple worshipping of gods in the Roman Empire. Okay, this was happening. Okay. Okay, so that it was happening. Suddenly, in the 5th century AD, now we cross BC, now we are entered into the AD, that is the 5th century AD. In the 5th century AD, the Roman Empire was broken into two pieces. That was broken into two parts. This was called as a Western Roman Empire. Western Roman Empire. And another empire was also established here. That was called, with the present Turkey, Southeast Europe and present Turkey. Another empire was also established here, and this name was Eastern Roman Empire. Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople. The capital of the Western Roman Empire was Rome. 5th century AD. Okay, understand. The trade, there was no change in any trade relation between China, India, and with the Romans. Same trade relation. China and India crossing the Karakoram, and they come to this part, and by sea they took all the goods and transported it to the European continents. There was no any change. It was as usually the trade was happening. Only one thing, politically Roman Empire broken into Western Roman Empire and Eastern Roman Empire. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th century AD, this Western Roman Empire was completely vanished. Many small independent kingdom was many small independent kingdom was emerged here. Understand? Many small independent kingdom has emerged. If I want to say you exactly, you have come across with the modern India. After the death of Aurangzeb, what happened to Mughal Empire? It was broken into various pieces. Clear? Yes, like that. Aurangzeb, Mughal Empire was very large. After his death, what happened? Broken into small pieces. Like that, the Western Roman Empire, simply understand, Western Roman Empire ended. Eastern Roman Empire continued. 6th century AD. Here in Saudi Arabia, another incident was happened. That was Mecca. The people who are living here in this Saudi Arabia was the Arab tribes. Arabic tribal people. One man wanted to consolidate all these tribal people into one group. And the name of that man was Muhammad. But this was not accepted by the leader of the tribal people. Arabic tribal people leader never accepted this one. Why? What is your job? Why you have to consolidate us? No, that is not necessary. That is not your job. This tribal people, this Mecca, Medina, important trading center. See here, the goods passing over through the Silk Route only crosses this area. It was a fertile, prosperous trade route. Lot of trade was there. And this Arabic tribal people and the leaders of the Arabic tribal are flourished with wealth because of this one. So they become very wealthy, rich. And Muhammad told that, no, that is not necessary. So much of wealth is evil. That would brought disaster. Don't do these things. Advice given by Prophet Muhammad was not accepted by these tribal people. And this Arabic tribal leader sent Muhammad out of the city, that is Mecca. He was sent out. From Mecca, he went to another city that is called Medina. Mecca to Medina. In Medina, he married a widow, Khatija. Khatija was a wealthy woman. She has lot of brothers and lot of wealth with her. So Muhammad married Khatija there in the Medina, and along with the brothers of Khatija, Prophet Muhammad went to the city of Mecca, like soldier, and he went there. Now I came for war with you. Accept what I am telling. Don't impose too much of taxes. Don't do too much of trade. Don't collect so much of wealth. It is not good for the life of you people. If you don't accept this one, I will going to crush you. Prophet Muhammad told like this one. The Arabic tribal leaders started to attack Prophet Muhammad. Now this was war between Prophet Muhammad group and the Arabic tribal group. What happened at the end? Prophet Muhammad won the war. Now he established a small state here. That is what we want. He established a small state here in the Saudi Arabia. That is called the Islamic State. Okay. After Prophet Muhammad died, after that, he died. And the successors of Prophet Muhammad named this Islamic State as a caliphate. They named it as a caliphate. Now the caliphate started to enlarge in all direction. the caliphate started to enlarge in all direction here. Okay, now the caliphate started to occupy the entire Saudi Arabian peninsula, and now they come across this area, and now they expanded towards the north. Now this is the caliphate. This is the caliphate. In some part of Africa also they captured the caliphate. Now the caliphate faced the problem. This was happened in the 6th to the 9th and 10th century AD. 9th to the 6th to the 10th century AD. Now, when the caliphate is moving towards the north, when it is expanding towards the north, what you see here? Which empire is present here? Eastern Roman Empire. Now they two is clashing with each other. Understand? Now, Eastern Roman Empire and the caliphate is clashing with each other. By the time of the 11th century AD, by the time of the 11th century AD, 11th century AD, here in the Europe, complete spread of Christianity was there. Christianity was completely spread, and the entire Europe was called as a Christian nation or Christian states. Christian states. That is called the Christian states. Understand, that is enough here. So almost the entire Europe was Christianity. For the Christian states, there was a head. For the Christian people, religious head. Religious head for the Christian people. That was called Pope, with Rome as capital. Pope was at Rome. Okay. Now, Rome was the Pope was in the Rome, who was the religious head of the Christian people there in the European continent. For not European continent, entire Christian people religious head was Pope. Now, 11th century AD. So, two things you need to understand here. First thing, the Caliphate Empire is pushing towards the north, and it is struck with the Eastern Roman Empire. They cannot expand because of the presence of Roman Empire. And here, entire Europe was with the Christianity, and the head of the Christian people was Pope, whose capital was with the Rome. Now, what happened to the trade? What happened to the trade which was between this part of the trade? What happened here? When the Islamic State was established here, trade was getting problem here because they are not allowing the goods. Why? Why we have to allow the goods for the people in the Europe? No, we don't allow goods. If we want to pass on the goods, pay more taxes. Pay more taxes, and then you take the goods. Now, year after year, century after century, taxes over goods passing from one area to another area was increasing, keep on increasing. So, the silk of China, the spices of India is not supplied for the European people. They are struggling. They are struggling. They can't able to get the silk of India. They can't able to get the spices of India. Now, the European people are struggling. Because of what? Because of the very great threat for them was the establishment of the Islamic State, that is the Caliphate here. In the 11th century AD, this Caliphate state was ruled by one Turkish people, and the name of the Caliphate was changed into one empire that was called Ottoman. So, this Ottoman Empire is clashing with the Eastern Roman Empire, and here the entire Europe was with the Christianity. Understand? Now, where is Jerusalem? Where is Jerusalem? Jerusalem is here in the West Asia, that is Jerusalem. That is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is important for what? Christian people. Because birth of Jesus Christ, holy place. This holy place is under whose control? See the map here? Under whose control here? Islamic people, Ottoman Empire. Now, the Pope calling for recover of this Jerusalem from the Islamic state of Ottoman Empire. We have to wage a war. And he called for the people, come and get assembled. We go and recover the holy land of Jerusalem from the Ottomans, Islamic people. That war from 11th century to the 13th century AD was called as, you people know it very well, that was called as the, I write here, okay, and that was called as a Crusade Wars. Crusade Wars. This Crusade War was between whom and whom? Between the Christians and the Islam people. What was the purpose? What was the purpose of this Crusade War? The purpose of the Crusade War was to recover Holy Land. Recover Holy Land of Jerusalem. Recover the Holy Land of the Jerusalem. Okay. So, that is what it has happened. Now, first thing, what we saw from the 5th century AD, from the 5th century AD, and this, now I will tell you, from this 6th century AD and this 12th century AD, we called it as a medieval world. We called it as a medieval world. Medieval world. What was the belief of this medieval world? I will switch on to the board. Medieval world. Medieval world. What was the belief of this medieval world? Belief. This medieval world was also called it as Dark Age. Dark Age. Why it was called as Dark Age? I will tell you. Belief. How our earth is? Earth is round. But in the medieval world, it was believed that earth was flat. Earth was flat. And earth was flat. In this medieval world, they believed that geocentric theory. You know what is meant by geocentric theory. People, I will explain what is meant by geocentric theory. Sun and other planets are revolving around the sun. This is called heliocentric. But in the geocentric, Earth and other planets, including sun, is revolving around. This is a wrong one. But the people believed that Earth is the center of the world and all other planets, including sun, are revolving around that. So that was a geocentric theory. Okay. Who created the world? Who created this world? Some people say God. No, that is wrong. But people in the medieval world believed that God created the world. God creation. God creation the world. So the world was created by God. Everything is because of God. Everything is because of God. People were highly with superstitious belief. People are highly with the superstitious belief. Superstitious belief. Still we are in superstitious belief. We know that. Still we people are in superstitious belief. Whenever we do any auspicious thing, what we do? We go and took the calendar and see what is Ragukala, what is Yamaganda. What is Ragukala and what is Yamaganda. Do we think that is anything doing? We need a do we need anything like auspicious thing? All time is auspicious thing. This is what? This is what we call it as a scientific temper. Not believing in superstitious belief. But in the dark age, the people believed in the superstitious belief. Who made the people to believe the superstitious belief? That was church. So church was very dominant. Church was very dominant during the medieval age. Church. Sir, why you are saying church? Because our history is concerned with European history. That's why only Europe was there, and that's why our concern is with the European history. That's why where Europe was under Christianity, so church only dominate the thing. So domination of church. What church say? It was a rule. It was a what the church say. It was a rule. Everyone has to follow. Everyone follow it without any second thought. That's why this medieval world was called as a dark age. As a dark age. Okay, coming back. So 6th century AD to the 12th century AD, this was what we called it as a dark age. And here, all the problem was facing by there. What are the problems? Once again, I am revising that. The entire Europe was Christianity, and in the Christianity, the Pope was calling for recovering the Holy Land of Jesus Christ's birth. That was a Jerusalem. He called for a crusade war. And here, the Ottoman is expanding towards the north, and by the Eastern Roman Empire is a problematic for them. And church domination was there, and they have superstitious belief, and they consider earth is flat. They thought that the earth is center, all other planets including sun are revolving. That was a dark age. Along with that most important problem, they can't able to get the silk of China, spices of India. Now they are struggling. If they pass on this area, this Ottoman Empire is there. How to avoid it? How to avoid this one? How to go to India and collect the spices? How to go to China and collect the silk without crossing this Ottoman Empire? What we can do? Europeans are thinking. By the time in Europe, a movement was started. By the time in Europe, in the 13th century, a movement was started that was called Renaissance. That was called as a Renaissance. What is the meaning of this Renaissance? What is mean by Renaissance? What is mean by Renaissance? Rebirth. Cultural revolution. I will give two examples for you. You can able to understand it very clearly. Okay. We are doing for keeping our mind and body fit, what is recommended to nowadays? Practicing yoga. Very good. Who introduced yoga? Who was invention of that yoga? Who was responsible for the introduction of yoga? Patanjali. Very good. Patanjali. Don't consider that. Baba Ramdev and Patanjali is not, I'm saying. I'm not saying Baba Ramdev Patanjali. I'm saying that Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, which was introduced in 3rd century. See, in India, 3rd century AD, Patanjali introduced yoga, but that yoga is still used today. It is keeping our mind and body fit. It helps the man to keep fit. So that is what I am saying. That is, European people thought that we have wasted everything and we have completely demoralized. We have completely in the superstitious belief. Not all people, only few people think. How to overcome this problem? How to overcome this church is dominating and this people are saying that the superstitious belief? What we can do? Some people are going through the old Greek and Roman script or books. We can write it as a books. Old books. And they found good things from there. Good things means values. Good values from there. And they gave it to the world. That is what we call it as, they took the Greek and the Roman value from the old books and they want to break away the old faith and old thing. That period we called it as a Renaissance. That is, we call it as a rebirth. And that is a cultural revolution. Where it was started? It was started from Italy. From Italy, it spread to other parts of Europe. Other parts of Europe. Okay. I will switch on to the board. I think I can switch it on to the board. Renaissance. What is meant by Renaissance? Rebirth. It is also called as cultural revolution. It was started in the 13th century. Where it was started? It was started in Italy and spread to, from Italy, it spread to other parts of Europe. What was the change it brought? The change it brought was outlook of man. Outlook of man was completely changed. The outlook of the man was completely changed. Sir, what is outlook here changed? Now, because of this Renaissance, a thought. No. And this Renaissance say that, don't believe in superstitious. Don't believe in superstitious. Believe in practical and result, and maintain the scientific temper. So if you are saying that follow this one, you first ask question, why I have to follow this one? Why we have to follow this one? Why I have to go through this one? Why can't I go? Why can't go in this way? Like that, it has to, the Renaissance people, many intellectual people, thought people, they ask the people to start asking the questions by ignoring the superstitious belief. Because of this, the outlook of a man was completely changed. Now, another example I want to say to you. Indian women were not allowed to go outside. Indian women were not allowed to go to school. Before, in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, when the husband died, the wife has to jump into the funeral pyre of the husband. That is called sati. The first man who abolished sati in India was whom? Rajaram Mohan Rai. You know that in studied in modern India. So, Rajaram Mohan Rai completely changed the outlook of Indian women. He broke the customs and practices and brought India to the modern world like this. Understand? Rajaram Mohan Rai broke the customs and practices, brought India from the modern world like that. Renaissance brought the world, European world, from the medieval world to the modern world by breaking the superstitious belief and maintaining the scientific temper. That is changing the outlook of a man. That is what we called it as a Renaissance. It is a movement. Renaissance, we called it as a movement. What is mean by movement? Which is continued for many centuries. We call it as a movement. 13th century, the Renaissance continued up to 18th century. It is not exactly around 18th century. So it started from 13th century and ended around 18th century. What is the impact of this Renaissance? Impact. What is the impact of Renaissance? What is the impact of Renaissance? New discoveries, new inventions. Sir, what new invention, what new discoveries here? See, understand here, during this period only, we have moved from the geocentric theory to the heliocentric theory. Galileo was the first man to break this one. Because of telescope, where he find the telescope, with the help of the telescope only we can able to find it. No, earth is not the center, sun is the center. So what we believed in the medieval period is wrong and this is the correct one. So they shifted from the medieval world to the modern world. What is the importance of this modern world? This Renaissance. What is the importance of this Renaissance? Modern outlook for the man. What modern outlook? Scientific inventions and discoveries. Based on what? Result, practical and scientific temper. So new inventions, new discoveries. New inventions and new discoveries. Contact with new people. Contact with new people. I will tell you this point later. Contact with new people. I will tell you this point later. New inventions and discoveries. And now they can and now they come to know about earth is not a flat. Earth is a spherical. Earth is not a flat. Now everything, what belief in the medieval world was completely broke down, completely shattered. And now man thought that what we believed was wrong. And now this is true one, they believe. Emergence of the modern world, that is the impact of the Renaissance. Okay, once again I'm revising. Renaissance means rebirth, which is a cultural revolution starting from 13th century, continued up to 18th century. Starting point was in Italy. From Italy, it spread to other parts of the European continent. What it changes? It changes the outlook of a man. From where to where? Changes outlook of a man from superstitious belief to scientific temper, practical theory, like that. That is from the medieval to the modern. That is the Renaissance. Okay. Coming back. Can we have a break? We can have a 2 minutes break. Break கேட்கறாங்களா? அதான் நானே சொன்னேன். Okay, we can have 5 minutes break or 2 minutes break. We can have 5 minutes break. Okay. We resume after 5 minutes. Yes, I think we can start. Only video? Yes, we can start. So here, what are the empires? Once again, here there was a Ottoman Empire, which was the Ottoman Empire, which was existed in the in the West Asian region, which was pushing towards to the north, and Byzantine Empire, which was existed here in the part of the present Turkey and southeast Europe. That is Byzantine Empire. That is okay, Eastern Roman Empire. Eastern Roman Empire. We also call this Eastern Roman Empire was Byzantine Empire. And here, and this was the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire. This was around the 13th century. By the same time, in the European continent, and another empire was present from the rises from the Western Roman Empire, and the name of the empire which was existed in the central part of the Europe, Holy Roman Empire. Holy Roman Empire. Their capital was Rome. The capital of Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantine Empire was Constantinople. The capital of the Ottoman Empire was Anatolia, the present Turkey. Okay, this was the empire. Understand? Don't get confused. Sir, how this possible? One sudden empire was emerging here in the central part of the Europe, that is the Holy Roman Empire. We see this Holy Roman Empire in detail during the French Revolution. Just understand. From the breaking of the Western Roman Empire, Eastern Roman Empire, Roman Empire break down into two. After the disappearance of the Western Roman Empire, and another empire emerged here in the central part of the European continent was the Holy Roman Empire around 9th century AD to the 10th century AD. Okay, Holy Roman Empire. Just to keep it in mind. Now, Now, so now the Ottoman Empire is pushing towards the Eastern Roman Empire, and it was a continuous war. It was a continuous war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Ottomans. The Ottomans were the Turks, and around in the 1453, the Ottoman king Mahmud with a very large army, he entered into the Byzantine Empire. This is the capital, Constantinople, and he captured the Constantinople. And in 1453, fall of Constantinople, that is the Byzantine Empire, which existed from the 6th century AD, ended in 15th century of 1453, fall of Constantinople. Constantinople was fallen. Now, this also became a part of the this also became the part of the Ottoman Empire. Now, problem here was the Ottomans not allowing any of the goods into their empire. Now the Europeans cannot be able to get any goods, spices, silk, the dates from the West Asia, dates. We see the lion dates, not the lion dates, the dates. That is, those are the precious things for the European people. No, they cannot be able to get it because the Ottomans have completely blocked everything from this part to this area. Now Europeans are struggling. How to bring prosperity? Now, bring the Renaissance here, new outlook. Because of this church only, we have been in the superstitious belief. We have to break away all these things. New thought emerge. New discoveries emerge, new inventions there. Now, the people of European continent started to try in a different way. Why can't we go to India and China by sea? Why can't we go by sea? Now they are coming across to the sea. When they took the ship and coming across the coast of Africa, they coming across the coast of the African continent, but they cannot be able to go forward. Their ship was not strong enough to go for a very long distance. Stormy weather, waves, most important thing, outdated compass. They cannot be able to find the directions there. New invention, because the superstitious belief have completely blocked the ideas, thought process of the human in the medieval age. Now they are in Renaissance. Now they are not believing in any of the superstitious belief. Now the man has a new thought and he is doing the practical and he is getting the result because of that practical. Why this is? Okay, this is because of this thing. Okay, now we are getting the practical thing. Now he started to invent new things. He found the compass at last. Compass was found. Now, if he lost any direction in the sea, he can able to find the direction with the help of a compass. He can able to go to any nearby shore. That gave confidence. New ship was built, which was strong enough to sail across the ocean, which can able to withstand a stormy weather. Now, the man started to sail across the oceans and he explored the sea. But still, he cannot be able to come across. One man, Baltimore Dias, Portuguese. Baltimore Dias. He come across the western coast of the African continent by courage, and he was strong enough to sail across the western coast of the entire African continent. When he reached to the very near to the tip of the Africa, struggling, his ship was difficult to move, but by courage and by help of a compass, new strong ship, he crossed the tip of the Africa and reached the eastern coast of the Africa. That gave a hope and their confidence to the other people, because he who Dias, Baltimore Dias, who gave hope to the other people, because of that only the tip of the African continent is called as Cape of Good Hope. Understand? This is Cape of Good Hope. Now, following Baltimore Dias, Christopher Columbus, another man, Christopher Columbus, another man, started to explore he has different idea. Why can't we go beyond this world? This is ocean, Atlantic Ocean. Beyond that Atlantic Ocean, what would be there? Columbus started to come across the Atlantic Ocean. He failed. He returned back to Portugal. Second time, he come across the Atlantic Ocean and he come across the stormy weather and he reached the island. His main dream was to found a new sea route to India. Columbus, I have to find a new sea route to India. I have to reach India first. And he took the ship and he sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. When he landed in a shore, he was very surprised. Yes, I have found India. Yes, I have found India. But it was not so. In the later only it was came to know about it was a small island. That is what we called it as a Caribbean Islands. Caribbean Island. That are Caribbean Islands were collectively that we called it as a West Indies. Why it is called West Indies? Because of Columbus' dream of India, which is present in the western part of the world. That's why it was called as West India, and later it was called as Indies. West Indies. It is called as a West Indies. Now Columbus reached the island and he returned back. During the time, Portugal was ruled by John, a king. Nearby Portugal, it was ruled by another kingdom that is called Spain, which was ruled by Catherine and Isabella. Now, Columbus went to the Portugal King John. King, I want to go for next exploration towards the western coast, that is to the crossing the Atlantic Ocean. The King of Portugal told that, no, it is enough. I am not going to sponsor for you. And for your dream of finding new sea route to India, I am not going to sponsor for you. It is enough is enough. He told that. Columbus don't have money, and his idea and his dream of reaching India was shattered, and he was wandering here and there. This information came to known for the Spanish Queen Isabella. Spanish Queen Isabella. Isabella called Columbus. What is your dream? What you want? Queen, I want to find a new sea route to India. I have the route. I know it, but I don't have money and ship. Okay, I will sponsor for you. You go. But don't search for India. You search for new land. Understand? New land. You search for new land. She told that. Okay, Queen, I will do that. I will search for new land. I will search for the new land. From Spain, Columbus reached the eastern coast of the South America. And along the eastern coast of the South America, he explored and he come across the western coast of the South America, and he reached up to the central part of the South America. And now all these regions were explored by Columbus, and he reached up to the southern part of the United States of America, and then after 5 years he returned to Spain, and he told Queen Isabella, Queen, I found lot of land which was present there beyond the Atlantic Ocean, and that land have lot of prosperity. For your information, I will tell you one more thing. I think you might have watched a movie that is called Apocalypto, the movie. In the Apocalypto movie, in the ending scene, you find two of the ships is coming when the hero Apocalypto movie, after he defeated his enemies, he started to go back into the forest. When he looked back, he saw two ships were approaching. Who were those two ships? It was belonging to Spain. That was the first time the people are coming across this continent. Okay, I will tell you that later. Okay, now Columbus went to Isabella and told that I have found a new land and new world. Because of this one, North America, South America was considered to be as New World. New World. For the Europeans, Europe, Africa, Asia is called as Old World. Old World, New World. Why it is called as a new world? This is a new thing. This is a question in prelims also. Why this is called as a new world? For the first time, Europeans coming across the North America and South America, that's why they called it as a new world. This Africa, Asia is already known to them. That's why they called it as a old world. Okay. Now, Columbus went to Isabella and told that, Queen, I found a lot of land, opportunity, people, precious metal, wealth, gold, silver, everything was there. So you can go there and you can get all those things. Immediately, Queen Isabella sent the Spanish army to the South America and then to the Central America. Slowly, and they started to colonize this part. The Central America was colonized by the Spanish and the South America was colonized by the Spanish. Except this Brazil. Brazil was colonized by whom? Portuguese. So Portuguese colonized this part of South America, and the entire other part of the South America became the colony of the Spanish. So this became the Spanish colony. And next one. From Portugal, another man, Vasco da Gama, following the path of Baltimore Diaz, crossed the Cape of Good Hope, and he crossed the Madagascar, and he reached the western coast of India. That is Vasco da Gama who reached India. The man, first European means first European in modern day to reach India. Another man from Portugal, that was Magellan. He started to circumnavigate the world. Magellan, he come across the Atlantic Ocean. And he reached the South America, and he went out of the Atlantic Ocean, and he came along with this, and he come across this entire Indian Ocean, and he reached the, once again, circumnavigate the world. Magellan, the first man to circumnavigate the world. And this era, after Renaissance, what we called it as, that is called Age of Discoveries. After Renaissance, it is called age of discovery, or we called it as age of discovery or age of exploration. Exploration. What happened here? It started from around 14th century or 15th century and ended around the 18th century. 14th, 15th century and ended with 18th century. What? Finding new sea route. Finding new sea routes. Why? What is the purpose of finding the new sea routes? Why? Why? Here you write the reason. What is the reason for that? Was main purpose was new sea route to India. New sea route to India and China. For what purpose? For what purpose? Sea route to India and China. For what purpose? To avoiding the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire. Age of discovery. Finding new sea route. What are the result of this? New world was found. The new world was found. What is this new world? North and South America. North and South America was found. And then what is the impact of this one? Impact or okay, I write this in another page. Impact, consequences. Consequences of age of exploration. Consequences of age of exploration or discovery. What was the consequences? First one. What is the consequences? India became colonies because of why? Portuguese, French, Dutch, British and all these things. The first thing consequences was colonization. Colonization. Next one what? Exploitation of wealth. Exploitation of wealth. Exploitation of wealth. And then death of indigenous people. Death or extinction. Extinction is the exact word. Okay. Extinction is the exact word. Or we can, death is a simple word I am using, but exact keyword is the extinction. Extinction means complete eradication. Extinction of the indigenous people. Indigenous people of North America and South America. South America. New sea routes were found. New sea routes. Asia, Africa, found. So that was the consequences. New sea routes were found. The age of explorations. So first one is Renaissance. I will tell you the chain of event. First one is Renaissance. First one is Renaissance. Because of this Renaissance, what? Because of Renaissance, what? New outlook, new thought, new discoveries, invention. Because of new inventions and discoveries, what? New ship was found. Because of the new ships are found, what they found? Because of the new ship, new compass, they started to explore the world. That's why it is called as exploration. So after Renaissance, because of the connectivity, here you write it as Renaissance, new inventions and discovery. New inventions and discovery. That is age of exploration. Age of exploration. What is that age of exploration? Finding new sea route to the other world. That is the one. Clear? Now we go into the subject, the first topic, that is American Revolution. We are going. These are all the basic things, basic foundations what we need to understand. Okay, so American Revolution. Okay, that is not necessary. That is not necessary. American Revolution. Background, structure. So this is the structure of the topic. Whatever the topic we are going to discuss, I always give the structure. Each and every portion, what we are going to discuss. Here we are going to discuss the background. What is the background of the American Revolution? Here, what were the causes of the American Revolution? Causes. In the causes, I split the causes into three. One is intellectual cause, another one is political cause, and the third one is economic cause. And the third one is course of the revolution. Once the revolution started, how it went on. Course of the revolution. And after the end of the American Revolution, what was the significance of the revolution? What was the significance of the revolution? Okay, this is the topic what we are going to discuss for the American Revolution. Clear? Okay. Now, first we see the background. What is the background of the American Revolution? Background of the American Revolution. Okay. I will tell you one by one. Okay, you understand? I will tell you one by one. One by one reason I will tell you. When Columbus found the South America. Okay, I will start it from somewhere else. Okay. Portugal, Spanish, France, England, British. Okay. Okay. When Columbus started to explore the Atlantic Ocean, he come across the eastern coast, and he come across the western coast, Central America, and up to the southern part of the North America. So up to this part, the Spanish people have completely colonized the southern part of the South America and North America. They did it. Okay. When this news came to known for the European people, they tell that, have you heard of this one? Have you heard that? In that North America, South America, vast land was there. If you go there and clear the forest, we can become the estate owner. Availability of land. Hey, don't tell lie. Yes, it is a true. One of my neighbor who went there, he became a landowner there. But now he is a ordinary. He was a very simple man. Now he became a landlord. How it was possible? Because he went there and cleared a forest, and now he became the owner of 500 acres. Like this kind of rumor was spread in the European people of Portugal, Spain, France, and other states of the European continent. Now people thought that if we settle there in the South America or in the southern part of the North America, we become the owners of the land, we become wealthy. People started to migrate by taking a ship, or they rented a ship and they started to come across the Atlantic Ocean, and now they're coming and settling there, and now they're coming and settling there. So the first group of people, I call it as a wave. The first wave of people who settled here in South America and North America were because of in search of opportunities. In search of opportunities, they came and settled here in the North America and in the South America. That is in search of opportunities. What kind of opportunities? Land opportunity, employment opportunity, and etc. Land opportunity, employment opportunity, etc. So in search of opportunities, they came and settled here in the South America and in the southern part of the North America. They came and settled here. Second reason, the second point. Can we people able to settle there in the Saudi Arabia? Can we people go and settle there in the Saudi Arabia? Impossible. Why? What is the reason? Temperature is very hot. Can we go there in the Russia? No, it is not possible because it is very cold. It is very cold there. So people of India felt comfortable where their climate is very accommodative. Indian climate, where is Indian climate? What kind of Indian climate here? Suitable climate is present there, means they will go and settle there. Next reason why European people go and settled there in the North America means because they found that the climate here in the North America is very, very, very conductive, accommodative. Second one, climate is very conductive, accommodative for them. Suitable climate, simply you write it as suitable climate. That is a good point. Suitable climate, that is suitable climate. Suitable climate. So suitable climate where and where? Europe is the same climate, and here North America, South America was also a same climate. Next one. Now Portugal, the Spanish formed a colony here. Next, the French people thought that how Spain only established colony here, why can't we people, French people, can't able to establish a colony? French explorers came following the same path of the Columbus. They eastern coast, western coast, and they went up, and they go in of the United States of America. Slowly they carved out a colony there, and that is called the present Canada became the colony of the France. This became the colony of the France. Now England thought that why these French and Spanish only can able to establish the colony, why can't British? The British people slightly went into the coastal region of the Atlantic Ocean and they reached the North America and they established the coastal region there in the colony and they established a colony there. So, in the North America, this is our American Revolution part, so we are concentrating here only. In the North America, southern part of the United States of America became the Spanish colony. Central part, the present Canada, became the French colony, and the eastern coast became the British colony. Next one, what these people did, the British government encouraged the British people to settle here on the eastern coast. The Spain encouraged the Spanish people to settle in the southern part. France supported the French people to settle here in the French colony. So, establishment of colonies. Colonies nearby each other. Establishment of colonies nearby each other. French colony, Spanish colony, and the British colony. All these were present side by side. All these colonies were present side by side. Okay, leave it there. Next one, fourth point. Listen here carefully. In the 16th century, in the European continent, there was a break. There was a break happened in the Christianity. Christianity was broke down into Protestant Christianity and Roman Catholic Christianity. What is the background of this? This is happened. Roman Catholic and Protestant. What is the background of this one? In church, there were a lot of corruptions was happened. And one man called Martin Luther protested against the Rome where Pope was there, and he started to contest against the Pope. You are doing wrong. And all these things, what you are getting the wealth is in an illegal way. No, you cannot, you must not do all these things. Martin Luther protested against the Church of Rome. So some people believed in Martin Luther, and that's why those people were called as Protestant, which protested against the Church of Rome. They were called as Protestant. And those who believed in the Church of Rome, they called it as a Roman Catholics. This is what happened. So Christianity was broken into two groups, Protestant Christianity and Roman Catholic Christianity. Problem here was, some people were Protestant people. Some people were Roman Catholic. Here, not only people, some king were Roman, some state were Roman Catholic, some state were the Protestant state. What the problem here was, people who, when a state is a Roman Catholic state, there is no room for the Protestant. For example, France is a Roman Catholic, means no Protestant should be there. They would be sent out of that day. They would be sent out of the France. Very simple. If a king is a Protestant king, all the people should be a Protestant people. No room for the Roman Catholic. If any Roman Catholic people would be there, they would be killed or they would be burnt alive. Only possible way for the people is go out of France. That is the thing. So when a king is a Protestant king, all the people should be Protestant. When a king is a Roman Catholic king, all the people should be Roman Catholic king. There is no room for Protestant and there is no room for the Roman Catholic there. So because of this, there was a religious unrest. Religious unrest. What is the reason for this religious unrest? Religious unrest because of the Protestant Christians and the Roman Catholics was happened in the European continent. On the European continent. So because of this, what happened? Continuous war, killing with each other. Roman Catholic people killing Protestant people killing Roman Catholic. The entire Europe was the bloodshed. What people did? Some people not liking these things, they migrated from the European continent and settled here on the eastern coast on the eastern coast of the United States of America. So now people don't want to engage in this religious unrest. They migrated and settled on the eastern coast of the United States of America. Migrated. So that is the fourth set of people who migrated and settled on the eastern coast of the United States of America. Next one. This is fifth set of people. England was ruled by Henry VIII in 16th century. Henry VIII in the 16th century. His problem was Henry VIII ruling England. His problem was, believe me people, it was happened in the history. Henry VIII was already, he married 6 times. But no wife gave male child to the throne of England. He wanted to divorce the 6th wife and he wanted to marry a new marriage. Who is to give the divorce? Church. For king, who is to sanction the divorce? Pope. But the Pope is not sanctioning the divorce for the Henry VIII. Because of that, Henry VIII was facing the lot of difficulty. He can't be able to divorce the 6th wife and he want to marry the 7th wife. Because of that, lot of wealth is going to come for him. And the most important problem, male heir to the throne. So he wanted to divorce that. But the church, the Pope is not sanctioning for that. What he think was, as long, because England was a Roman Catholic state during that time. Henry VIII thought, as long as we are the Roman Catholic, we have to bounded to the rules of the church. If you are not a Roman Catholic, why we have to follow that? Next day, one night he think it of that one, and the very immediate next day he announced that England hereafter is going to be a Protestant country, not a Roman Catholic. We are not going to bounded for any rules of the Rome, the Church of Rome, for the Pope or anything. So England is going to be a Protestant country. He announced that. People are shocked. They went to bed as a Roman Catholic, and the very next day they came out, rise from the bed as a Protestant people. People were shocked. Why they were shocked? How can we compromise our religion for you? I am a Roman Catholic. This is my faith. How can I compromise for you, king? How can I compromise my faith? I am a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, or whatever thing because of my faith, not because of any other man. So, few peoples of England, in protest against the Henry VIII, they migrated from England and settled on the eastern coast of the United States of America. 6th set of people, religious policy. Of Henry VIII. Because of the religious policy of Henry VIII, the fifth set of people migrated from England and they settled on the eastern coast of the United States of America. That is the fifth set of people. Sixth set of people. Who were the sixth set of people? Sixth set means group, wave, sixth sixth wave of people. In those period, dangerous criminals, outlaws would be thrown into an abandoned island. During those time, United States of America was one abandoned island and another one was Australia. Australia and United States of America was considered to be an abandoned island. So the people, the states of the European continents like Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, they would send the dangerous criminals to United States of America or either to the Australia or to the United States of America. So dangerous criminals, and outlaws were sent to United States of America. So these were the 6 sets of people who were sent to United States of America, and that was a background. So we saw all these as a background. Now we switch it on. The background. What were the causes? Causes. What is the position of the America? So up to this part, this was the Spanish colony, and this was become the British colony, and this was nearby that place French colony. So this was the position there in the colony of the United States of America. Causes. First we saw the intellectual causes. What was the reason for the intellectual causes? Okay. Who were these people who migrated and settled here on the United States of America, in British colony and in French colony and in Spanish colony? These people came from where? These people came from Europe. From Europe only they came and settled here. This Europe is known for what? This Europe is known for Renaissance. What is mean by Renaissance? New thought. So the intellectual cause for the American Revolution was people who were settled. Settled in United States of America, where belong to the era of Renaissance. That is new thought, or we called it as enlightened thought. So the people who were belong to the people who settled here, the people who were migrated here, the people who settled here in the United States of American colonies of British, French and Spanish were belong to the Renaissance era, who were modern outlook, who were not in superstitious belief. They were not bounded for any rules and regulations. For example, to say, they not compromising the faith of religion. Henry VIII, for his selfish For his selfishness, he wanted to marry one woman. He wanted to switch his faith, that is religion, from Roman Catholic Christianity to Protestant. So people not like that. They migrated. So they are not compromising. Independent thought. Next point. In the same intellectual cause, the key word for the intellectual cause is people belong to era of Renaissance. That is a key word. That is a key word. Next one. People, intellectual cause, independent thought. Independent thought. They freely think, not getting advice from anyone, not listening to anyone. They are thinking by themselves. Free thought. Free thought. So the first point is enlightened era. The second point is the independent thought. So the intellectual cause for the American Revolution were people who settled in the American colonies belong to the Renaissance era, who were not for any superstitious belief. They were of independent thought. Clear? Okay, that is a point. Next one. Political cause. Political cause. Political cause. Okay. 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 So political cause. This was continued. This was continued. The people have settled here. The British people have settled here, and the Spanish people colony, and this was a French. This was continued for many years and many centuries. In 1756, in European continent, that is Europe. In Europe, there was a war. In Europe, there was a war that was called 7 Years' War. 7 Years' War. I think in modern India, you come across this 7 Years' War. This 7 Years' War in modern India, you come across that. Okay, you come along with the here in India Carnatic War. All these war. First Carnatic, second Carnatic, third Carnatic War. In between that, it come across. In Europe, it was a 7 Years' War. 1756 to 1763, the 7 Years' War was happened. Our point here is, in the 7 Years' War, British was on one side. Opposite to the British, it was France plus Spain plus Dutch. This was one group and the opposite was British. So here, when these groups are fought with each other, British on one side and the French, Spain and Dutch were on the another side, wherever they present side by side, it was the war was fought here. See here, British was present on the eastern coast. Spain was present here on the southern side. French was present here on the western side. So here also the war was fought. The British people, the British colony people along with the British soldiers fought with the French and also fought with the Spanish here. With a very hard, they protected the British colony from the French and then from the Spaniards here. So here they were the fighting with each other. And After lot of struggling, the British colony people and the British government have saved the colony from the French and then from the Spanish. What was the result of the war? British won the war. They were defeated. 1763, they were all defeated in that war. British won the war. Now, what the British colony people here in the British colony thought it was, we have relieved, and now there is no more danger of France and Spain from the western side and from the southern side. We have greatly relieved out of all these things because we have won the 7 Years' War. And understand, in that war, British colony people learnt the tactics from the British soldiers. British soldiers never come here and going to fight in the war. Only British army officers would come here, and the British colony people only fighting against the Spanish and the French here. So from the British army, the colony people learned the tactics. This is what they're going to use later period. Now they learned the tactics from the British army during the 7 Years' War. They won the war. And what the British colony people thought was, okay, we fought the war and we won the war. The British government is going to treat us in a very magnanimous way. They are going to treat us in a respectable way. No, that was not. After this war, the British government treated the British colony people as second category citizen. As a second category citizen. It was not liked by the colony people. Second category citizen. They ill-treated them. Because the colony people thought, listen here carefully. The British colony people thought that majority of the people here in the British colony were the British people only. And majority of the people, they were from the England only. So they only migrated and settled here. We are by birth, we are by blood, by British. But this British government is treating us in a second category citizen. No, this is not good. We belong to same England, but there in England, people are having a very good citizenship. They are treated in a respectable way. But here, we are treated in a second category citizen. Second category citizen means not giving any affordability, not giving any care, and only exploitation. And the British government is taking our resources. No, this is not good. The people of British colony felt they were being cheated and they're being treated in a second category citizen. Now, the anger of the colony people is slowly rising. Because, why? We won the war because our effort, not because of British government. But you are treating me in a second category citizen. No, we don't like these things. The colony people angry is rising. On this occasion. That is political cause. Now from political cause, we are shifting to economic cause. We are moving to economic cause. I think it is timing up. Yes, it's time up. Now we see the economic cost tomorrow. Okay. Now we see the economic cost. So we saw two things. One is we saw the American Revolution. We saw the background of American Revolution. We saw the causes. In the cause, intellectual cost, we saw. Political cost, we saw. In the background of the American Revolution, we saw that people of opportunities, in search of opportunities, they migrated to the United States of America. Second, settlement, colony settlement. The people migrated and settled there. Third one, people, because of religious unrest, divide in the Christianity, Protestant and Roman Catholic Christianity, they migrated and settled there. People, because of the political criminals and the outlaws, they were sent there. And because of the Henry VIII religious policy, the people migrated and settled there. These were the background, how people were settled there, how colony was formed there in United States of America. Coming to the cause, we saw intellectual cause. The reason for the intellectual cause was people who were settled in the American colonies were belong to the Renaissance era. So they were with the new outlook. They were not with superstitious belief or anything. They were maintaining the scientific temper. So they were independent of themselves. So that's why they are opposing everything. I will connect this point later. So that is a point. Political cause, first point. Political cause. 7 years war was held. British was on one side, French, Spanish and Dutch were on another side. They were fought with each other. British won, they were defeated. The British won the war because of the British colony people. But after the war was over, they were not treated in a gentle way. They were not treated in a respectable way. They were treated like a second category citizen that was not liked by the colony people. Angry mounted among the colony people. That is the political cause. With the same thing, we are going to the economic cause. Tomorrow, we see the economic cause. We end with this today. Okay. Any queries, any questions? Questions irukappa?
Hello, Ji.
Yes, tell me.
Ji, I have a question. It is a simple one. When the first wave happened, the Spain people were the first to go. So
Yes.
when they were going from Europe to the South American continent, why specifically they went to the western part and they did not settle in the eastern or central part or something? Is there any specific reason for that?
I am not able to get your point. Why they are going for the?
When the Spain, why they are going to the southern, western part of the continent? They are circumnavigating and going to the southern part.
Okay, so the first thing was very easy for them. That is the first thing which was explored by Columbus. That was the first area which was explored by Columbus. That is what known to those Spanish people. The upland area that was explored by French. Later, eastern coast was explored by the British people. So whatever the region explored, immediately they colonized that part. They brought the people from Spain and put them as a settlement there. So according to the exploration, these settlements came up there in the every part of the North America and South America. Can you able to understand?
Okay. It was based on the route that was already found.
Yes. After that, French go beyond that. So immediately the French colonized that part. French people came and settled there. Eastern coast was explored by the Britishers, and the eastern coast came for the British explorers, and the British settlements came there. But anyhow, it was not very strict. Only French people in French colony, British people in British colonies, Spanish people in the Spanish colony, like strict rules was there. Here and there, mixed people was there. Majority of people in Spanish colony was Spanish people. Some Britishers was also there. Some other people was also there. Majority I am speaking there. Can you able to understand?
Okay. But still, I understood, Ji. But still, these people were under the control of the monarchy of their respective empires.
Yes, definitely. The colony means that is belong to Spain only. British colony means they were directly under the British monarchy. French monarchy means French colony means they were directly under the French monarchy.
Okay, Ji. Thank you so much.
Any query? Is this this speed and everything, is okay for you? Anyone answer for this one? Hello, friends, are you on the line? Hello, anyone?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Ji, the speed and pace is really nice. It is we are able to understand very clearly. It is good.
Okay. Because certain thing I'm going with the very basic. Some mixed people are that. That's why I'm going with the very basic. Are you comfortable with this part? I'm going with this length, or I can cut short something. Cut short means basic means, for example, heliocentric means this is this thing. Because many engineers are there, science people are there, they know it. But anyhow, some arts people are also there. That's why I'm coming. That's why I'm explaining certain things in depth. Is it is comfortable for you people, or that's why I'm asking?
Yes, Ji, it is comfortable.
Okay, okay, that's why. Okay, nothing. Queries இருக்காங்களா கொடுங்க என்னன்னு கேளுங்க.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, pa, what's your name?
Gautam, sir.
Gautam, from which part? Where?
Sir, you said the Roman Empire was broken down into Western Roman Empire and Eastern Roman Empire, sir.
Yes, very good, good.
So the Eastern Roman Empire is itself Byzantine Empire, sir. The other name.
We called by other name, that is called as a Byzantine. Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantine Empire, we called it as. Another name of that Eastern Roman Empire is Byzantine Empire.
Yeah, this was the only confusion, sir.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Akash from Coimbatore, sir.
Akash from Coimbatore. Tell me, Akash.
Sir, my doubt is regarding Renaissance movement, sir.
Renaissance. Tell me.
Sir, as you said that between 13th century AD and 18th century AD, Renaissance movement was there, and the people took the Greek and Roman values from the old books, right, sir?
Yes, very good.
Sir, I want to know that who wrote that old book, sir? That was from ancient world history or from the middle itself, sir?
From the ancient only. That is why I gave example. I will tell you clear. See, Plato, Aristotle, all these people were known belong to which world? Ancient world. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Akash, can you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, all these people belong to which era? Ancient era. But their ideas is still relevant today. We are using. So their writings belong to which books? Greek books. Some Romans were also wrote certain things. That is also the Roman scriptures. That is Roman books. So the Renaissance, that is in the European people during the Renaissance era, digging the old books and take the good values out of those things. Only good values out of those things, and they reform those things and give it to the people for changing from the medieval to the modern. That is from the superstitious belief to the scientific era. That is for the practical world, which is needed for the people during the time. That is what we called it as a Renaissance, where they took it from the Greek and Roman books. Can you able to understand it now?
Yes, sir. Very sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Still I want to give it to you. That's why I gave you example. That is yoga. Patanjali's yoga belong to ancient India, but still it is relevant with good values. Can you able to understand it now?
Sir. Yes, sir. I'm able to relate it, sir. Thank you, sir. And one more thing to say, the pace is very superb, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, name?
Sir, my name is Vignesh, sir. I'm from Chennai.
Vignesh, Chennai. Tell me, Vignesh.
Sir, I have doubt regarding Brazil, sir. Actually, I didn't get why the Spanish didn't occupy Brazil, sir.
Why Spanish cannot be able to colonize Brazil, leaving only that small part? That is your doubt, no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
That is a competition between. That is a competition. See, that is a competition. That is a competition between the Spanish and the Portuguese. So the Portuguese have completely the Spanish have completely colonized the rest of the part of the South America. But in that competition, the Spanish have gave some portion for the Portuguese also. That's why the Portuguese can able to get that part as a colony. So in that competition between the two, Portuguese got that slice as a colony. That's why competition only, nothing more speciality there.
So Portuguese didn't eager to establish their colony, sir.
No, that was not eager, because Spanish was very strong at that time. When the Spanish was emerging as a successful empire and strong, Portuguese was in the declining stage. That's why you can able to understand in the modern India. In modern India, you can able to find it during the time Portuguese cannot able to establish the many settlements here in India. They lost it everything to the Dutch. Later, they lost it everything to the French, and they lost it to the British. That's the empire was very strong, not strong there in Portugal. That's why they can't able to maintain the colonies. They don't have such a visionary. They don't have such a visionary like British people or French people. That's why.
Okay, sir. I understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, that is the thing. Anyone?
Sir.
Yes, tell me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Pa.
I am Ananda Karthik from Chidambaram, sir.
Ananda Karthik from Chidambaram. Okay, tell me, Ananda Karthik.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, first Spanish enters into America and they first occupy South America also, sir.
Spanish. Yes. On Columbus, on behalf of Isabella, he came the eastern coast and he went to the western coast and he colonized the South America, and he went up to the central part, that is North America, South America. In between that one portion that is called as Central America, he colonized that part. So Spanish colonized this part. So, the Spanish only colonized the South America except the present Brazil, Central America, that is Panama, Ivory Coast, Costa Rica, all these we called it as a Central America, and above that southern part of the North America. All these were colonized by the
of North America.
Yes. That is the colonized by the Spanish people. Understand?
Okay, sir. Upon second point, சொன்னீங்களா sir, climate change is conductive, suitable climate.
ஆமா.
So அங்கே
ஆமா, இப்ப நம்மளால போய்
இங்க கிளைமேட் நல்லா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க மைக்ரேட் ஆயிட்டாங்களா சார்?
இல்ல நல்லா இருக்குன்றத அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணாதீங்க. அதுக்கு தான் நான் சொன்னேன் கண்டக்டிவ் கிளைமேட். இப்ப நம்மளால போய் சவுதி அரேபியால இருக்க முடியுமா? உங்களுக்கே தெரியும் சவுதி அரேபியால எப்படிப்பட்ட கிளைமேட் இருக்கும். வெயில் அதிகமா இருக்குமா?
வெயில் அதிகமா இருக்கும், பயங்கரமா இருக்கும்.
ரஷ்யா எப்படி இருக்கும்?
எஸ் சார்.
ரஷ்யால எப்படி
ரொம்ப சில்லா இருக்கும், மைனஸ்ல இருக்கும்.
இப்ப நம்மளால போய் நம்ம போய் இருக்கணும்னா நம்மளுக்கு எந்த கிளைமேட் சூட்டபிளா அப்படின்னா இந்தியன் கிளைமேட் எங்க இருக்குதோ அங்க அந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல தான் இந்தியன்ஸ் இருப்பாங்க.
ஆமா சார்.
இப்ப வந்து நம்மளுக்கு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம இப்ப ரஷ்யா போகலாம். we can have a coat, a turf and everything. We can go and settle there. We can have a cotton cloth. We can go there in West Asia. During those time, people of European continent have a accommodative climate in United States of America. So they went and migrated there. அங்க சூட்டபிளான கிளைமேட் அவங்களுக்கு உயிர் வாழ்றதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரியான வந்து ஒரு கிளைமேட் இருந்துச்சு. அதனால அதே இடத்துக்கு போய் அப்படியே செட்டில் ஆகிட்டாங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டீங்களா?
ஓகே சார். இப்போ வந்து யூரோப்பியன்ஸ் எல்லாமே யூஎஸ்ல ரெவல்யூஷன் பண்றாங்க. இன்டெலெக்சுவல் காஸ், பொலிட்டிக்கல் காஸ், அப்ப நீங்க எகனாமிக் காஸ் நான் சொல்ல போறீங்க. இதனாலதான் எல்லாருமே ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க ரெவல்யூஷன்.
ஆமா, நான் ரெவல்யூஷன் ஆரம்பிக்கிறது சொல்லல. ரெவல்யூஷனுக்கு காசஸ் என்னன்னு தான் சொல்லிட்டு வரேன். ரெவல்யூஷனுக்கான காசஸ் வரேன். காசஸ்க்கு தான் சொல்லிட்டு வரேன். எது காரணங்களா இருக்குது, அந்த புரட்சிக்கான காரணங்கள் என்னென்ன, வாட் ஆர் த காசஸ் ஃபார் த ரெவல்யூஷன், அதை தான் நான் சொல்லிக்கிட்டே வரேன். நான் தான் சொன்னேன்ல, அந்த கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா செகண்ட் கேட்டகரியா சிட்டிசன்ஸ் அவங்களை ட்ரீட் பண்ணோம்னா கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா கோவம் வருது அவங்களுக்கு. ஆனா எல்லாத்துக்கும் கோவம் வரல. 10 பேர் இருக்கானா 2 பேத்துக்கு கோவம் வருது, 3 பேத்துக்கு கோவம் வருது, 7 பேர் அமைதியா இருக்கான். அந்த 7 பேர் வேற எதனாலே பாதிக்கப்பட போறான், அவன் எல்லாமே சேர்ந்து பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்பதான் இந்த ரெவல்யூஷன். புரியுதுங்களா?
சார் இப்போ வந்து அமெரிக்கன் பீப்புள்ஸ் நாங்க தனியா யாருமே இல்லையா சார்?
அமெரிக்கன்ஸ்ன்றது யாருமே இல்லைங்க. தேர் இஸ் நோ திங் அஸ் அமெரிக்கன். அமெரிக்கா இஸ் அ மல்டிலிங்குவல் மல்டி ரேஸ் பீப்புள். அமெரிக்கால எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா இன்னைக்கு ஜாப்பனீஸ் இருப்பான், சைனீஸ் இருப்பான், ஜெர்மன் இருப்பான், இட்டாலியன், அது ஒரு மினி வேர்ல்டுங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். சிம்பிளா சொல்லணும். மினி வேர்ல்ட்.
ஓகே சார்.
தட்
ஓகே
இஸ்
சார்.
இட். இப்போ புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு?
ஓகே சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூரோப்பியன்ஸ் தான் ஆக்குபை பண்ணாங்க
ஆமா
கொலம்பஸ்னால.
ஆமா
எஸ்
ஆமா
சார்,
ஆமா
எஸ் சார்.
ஆமா எஸ்.
ஓகே சார். தேங்க் யூ,
ஓகே,
தேங்க் யூ so much சார்.
தேங்க் யூ.
Hi, sir.
எஸ்
Hi, sir. This is Shamim from Kerala.
Shamin. Okay, your name is very familiar with one of my interview student there. That's why Shamin.
Okay, okay. Sir, I don't have any doubt. Like, I just want to know what are the books we need to refer.
Tomorrow I will tell you for every people. That is, if I say particularly to you, I have to say once again tomorrow.
Okay.
I will tell you. I will write what are the books to be read in the first session itself. Okay, I will tell you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Shamin,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, the pace and everything is okay. The story, all these things are good for
Yeah,
you.
sir. Everything fine, sir. Yeah, sir. Completely fine, sir.
Thank you, Shamin. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, tell me your name, from which part?
Sir, I am Shruti from Kerala.
Yes.
Sir, my doubt is Enlightenment and Renaissance both same?
Enlightenment, Renaissance. Renaissance is a movement. One of the pace in the Renaissance is enlightened. Renaissance means they started. Enlightened era means many intellectuals have started to explore new things and they founded a new way, that is we called it as a enlightened era. Renaissance is a starting point. One of the way in the Renaissance is the Enlightenment era. For example, how to stay. For example, that one of the stage in the Renaissance is the enlightened.
Okay, or can we say that it is one of the consequences of Renaissance?
Yes, very good. One of the consequences of Renaissance. Yes, that is the thing.
Okay, yes, sir, that was my doubt. I understood that. Thank you, sir. So your class is really good. And because we have learned in our school days, like some scattered here, world history here, only today only we got a real link. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, Shruti. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, I'm Swati from Andhra Pradesh, sir.
Swati from Andhra Pradesh. Swati, have you taken your
Yes, sir.
breakfast or lunch? Why your voice is so low? Okay.
Yes,
Louder.
sir. Now is it audible, sir?
Yes, good, fine. Tell me.
Sir, as you told in political cause, there was a 7 years war between British and France, Spain, and Dutchman, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I did not understand why was the war conducted? As my connection was lost, I was not.
I told you only the war. I didn't tell you what was the background of that war. That is your doubt, na?
Yes, sir.
That is a very larger scenario. But anything, because of some political problem between England and the other countries, the war was started in the European continent. I think you might have studied that in the Carnatic War here in the modern India. That is because of the issues. England wanted a share in the. England wanted some kind of land in the European continent, but it was not accepted by the French and then the Spanish. So that's why they are opposing for the British to get that land in the European. Land means territorial gain. That was not the territorial gain. What was needed for England was opposed by the Spanish and the French. They were always looking for an opportunity. In one of the occasion, there was a war of succession there in Austria that triggered the war between the two. That is why the reason of the 7 years war was started. Both France and Spain is trying to suppress England's role in the European continent. That was the reason. Can you able to understand it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think so. You are not convinced. Swati, can you tell me frankly?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
You are not able to get my point still.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. For example, to say, in England, the reason for the 7 years war was there was Austria. There was Austria in the European continent. So one of the king was died there in Austria.
Yes.
An alternative for the king, a son of that died king was chosen as a succession to the throne of Austria. But vested interest of other countries was also there. England supported for this son, but France and Spain was not supported for that son. They have chosen some other person because of Austrian war of succession. A war was started in relation to Austria, but Austria was not participated in that anywhere else. But the major war was only between England, France, and Spain, joined by Dutch there. Now you can able to understand it. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Understood, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Sakti Harish from Madurai. Sir, end out Sakti Harish. Sakti Harish.
Sakti Harish. Tell me Sakti Harish.
Sir, end out இப்போ கொலம்பஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் போகும்போது ரெட் இந்தியன்ஸ் அங்க ஏற்கனவே இருந்தாங்க சொன்னாங்க. ரெட் இந்தியன்ஸ் யார் சார்? ரெட் இந்தியன்ஸ்
நீங்க எல்லாம் இதை கேட்பீங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். நான் இந்த அமெரிக்கன் ரெவல்யூஷன் முடிச்ச உடனே ரெட் இந்தியன்ஸை பத்தி சொல்லலாம்னு இருந்தேன். நாளைக்கு சொல்றேன். பட் ஆனால் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ரெட் இந்தியன்ஸை பத்தி எக்ஸாமினேஷன் பாயிண்ட்ல கொஸ்டின் எதுவும் கிடையாது. இருந்தாலும் நான் அதை பத்தி நாளைக்கு சொல்றேன். கரெக்டுங்களா?
ஓகே சார். சார் இன்னொரு டவுட் என்னன்னா, வைக்கிங்ஸ்னு வருவாங்க சார், அவங்களும் இப்போ ஏற்கனவே அவங்களும் அந்த பீரியட்ல வந்திருப்பாங்க சார். நார்த் இந்தியால நார்த் அமெரிக்கா செட்டில் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க.
அநேகமா இந்த லாக்டவுன் பீரியட்ல நீங்க வந்து லாஸ்ட் வேர்ல்டு வைக்கிங்ஸும் பாத்துட்டீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நெட்ஃபிளிக்ஸ்ல. கரெக்டா?
இல்ல சார், இதுல மேப் ரீடிங் கிளாஸ்ல சார் சொன்னாங்க சார்.
அப்படியே வைக்கிங்ஸை பத்தி சொன்னாரா? வைக்கிங்ஸ் ஆர் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பீப்புள், தே வேர் த ஃபோர்ரன்னர்ஸ் ஹூ எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் த வேர்ல்டு. எல்லாத்துக்கும் முன்னாடி அவங்க தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வேர்ல்ட எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணாங்க. அவங்க தான் இந்த ஸ்காண்டினேவியன் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல இருந்து இங்கிலாந்துக்கு வந்தாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஈஸ்டர்ன் கோஸ்ட்ல கொஞ்சம் பீப்புள் வந்து வைக்கிங்ஸும் செட்டில் ஆனாங்க. வைக்கிங்ஸ் வாஸ் ஆல்சோ தேர், அவங்களும் இருக்கிறாங்க. பட் ஆனா மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் பீப்புள் அந்த வைக்கிங்ஸ் வந்து கிடையாது. நியூ ஹாம்ஸ்பியர்னு சொல்லுவோம் பாத்தீங்களா, நியூ ஃபவுண்ட்லேண்ட் நியூ ஹாம்ஸ்பியர்னு நியூ ஃபவுண்ட்லேண்ட் இருக்கும். அந்த நியூ ஃபவுண்ட்லேண்டை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கண்டுபிடிச்சதே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த வைக்கிங்ஸ் தான் கண்டுபிடிச்சிருப்பாங்க.
அப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வைக்கிங்ஸ், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அந்த யூரோப்பியன் கண்ட்ரீஸ் தான் போறாங்க.
இல்ல இது வந்து என்னன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா, இந்த ஹிஸ்டரியை எழுதுனது யூரோப்பியன்ஸ். அவங்க ஹிஸ்டரி தான் நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸோ எல்லாமே அவங்க சைடு பண்ண மாதிரி தான் வந்து இருக்கும். நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து நிறைய பேர் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. அதெல்லாம் இக்னோர்டு பார்ட் ஆஃப் த ஹிஸ்டரியா வந்து இருக்குது. ஆனா அதெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு எக்ஸாம் கேட்கறது இல்லை. இந்த பார்ட் ஆஃப் ஹிஸ்டரியில இருந்து நம்மளுக்கு எக்ஸாம் கேட்கறோம். அதனால தான் நம்ம இதை வந்து படிக்கிறோம். வைக்கிங்ஸ் வந்து எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஆனா அதை பத்தியான எக்ஸாமுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு வராது. நான் நாம ஒண்ணு பண்றது என்னன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா, எக்ஸாமுக்கு என்ன தேவை, என்ன கொஸ்டின் கேட்பான், அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி தான் சொல்றேன். ஏன்னா நீங்க நிறைய படிக்கணும், நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். நான் தேவையில்லாததெல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டுன்னா உங்களை டைவர்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. கரெக்டுங்களா?
ஓகே சார். சார் ஓகே சார், அது புரியுது சார். கடைசி டவுட் என்னன்னா, ட்ரீட்டி ஆஃப் டார்டிசிலாஸ் இருக்குல்ல சார், அதுல வந்து நான் கிறிஸ்டியன் வேர்ல்ட ரெண்டா பிரிச்சிருப்பாங்க, ஈஸ்ட் அண்ட் வெஸ்ட்னு. ஸோ அப்ப ஈஸ்ட் வந்து ஸ்பெயினுக்கு தான் போயிருக்கும். ஸோ ஏன் சார் பிரேசில் வந்து போர்ச்சுகீஸ் ஆக்குபை பண்ணாங்க? அப்ப ஏற்கனவே அவங்க அக்ரிமெண்ட் போட்டிருப்பாங்க. ஈஸ்ட் வந்து
அத வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த ஜோவனுக்கும் வந்து இசபெல்லாவுக்கும் வந்து பார்த்தா ஒரு காம்படிஷன் வந்து வர்றப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கொலம்பஸ் அனுப்புறது ஜோவன் தானே அனுப்புறாரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் தானே இசபெல்லா வந்து அனுப்புறாங்க. நான் சொன்னேன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து பார்த்தா நார்த் அமெரிக்கா அந்த சவுத் அமெரிக்கா கொலம்பஸ் பிடிச்ச உடனே ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் வந்து இந்த நிறைய லேண்டை கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டாங்கன்னு இவங்களுக்கு ரெண்டு பேருக்குள்ள வந்து ஒரு தகராறு வரும். யாருக்கு? ஜோவனுக்கும் இசபெல்லாவுக்கும். அப்போ வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, நீ அந்த போர்ஷனை மட்டும் எடுத்துக்கோ அப்படின்னு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, பிரேசில வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்டே வந்து அக்ரிமெண்ட்டை கொடுத்துருவாங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்டே வந்து அந்த பிரேசில கொடுத்துருவாங்க. யாருக்கு? போர்ச்சுகீஸ்க்கு. போர்ச்சுகீஸும் போய் அந்த பிரேசில வந்து பிடிச்சிருப்பான். திருப்பும் அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இசபெல்லாவுக்கு ஸ்பெயினுக்கும் போர்ச்சுகலுக்கும் அந்த சண்டை நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். அப்போதான் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, போப் அலெக்சாண்டர் 7 கிட்ட போய் வந்து அவங்க வந்து பஞ்சாயத்துக்கு போய் நிற்பாங்க. அப்பதான் அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவாரு, ஒரே ஒரு கோடை மட்டும் போட்டுட்டு அட்லாண்டிக் ஓஷன்ல ட்ரீட்டி ஆஃப் டார்டலிஸ் சரகோசான்றதை வந்து எழுதுவாரு. ஸோ ஆல் திஸ் வெஸ்டர்ன் ஈஸ்டர்ன் பார்ட் இஸ் கோயிங் ஃபார் த போர்ச்சுகீஸ் அண்ட் வெஸ்டர்ன் பார்ட் இஸ் கோயிங் ஃபார் த ஸ்பானிஷ்னு வந்து சொல்லிட்டு வாரு. அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே அந்த பிரேசில வந்து உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்ததுனால அந்த அக்ரிமெண்ட்ல அது வந்து இன்க்ளூடட். இப்ப புரியுதுங்களா?
ஓகே சார் நல்லா
இது
புரியுது.
மாடர்ன்
Thank you
இந்தியால
sir.
நீங்க படிப்பீங்க.
சார் அதான் அதுல வந்துச்சு, அதான் சரி எனக்கு அதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
அதுதான்
டவுட்
சொன்னேன்.
இருந்துச்சு.
அத வந்து பண்ணது வந்து ஜோவன் அல்ல இசபெல்லா. அதுக்கு வந்து பஞ்சாயத்துக்கு நடுவுல வந்த போப் வந்து போப் அலெக்சாண்டர் த 7. அவ்வளவுதான். அதுல
ஓகே
வேற
சார்.
எதுவும்
ஓகே சார்,
examination.
எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு டவுட் அது இதுக்கு தெரியாது சார். ஸோ இப்போ நான் வந்து வைக்கிங்ஸ் தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்தாங்கன்னு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ எக்ஸாமுக்கு இல்ல, பட் ஆனா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்றது வைக்கிங்ஸ் வந்தாங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் யூரோப்பியன்ஸ் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரேஷன் வந்திருக்காங்க.
இல்ல இல்ல
ஸோ
இல்ல
ரெட்
இல்ல
இந்தியன்ஸ் அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்திருக்காங்க.
இல்லைங்க. இல்ல நீங்க சொல்றது அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் கரெக்ட் தான். நம்ம என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா காலனி. ஆனா வைக்கிங்ஸ் வந்து அந்த காலனியை எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணல. ஸ்பானிஷ் தான் அந்த காலனியை எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணான். பிரிட்டிஷ் தான்
பட்
காலனியை
ஆனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணது வைக்கிங்ஸ்.
வச்சுக்கலாம். நீங்க கண்டிப்பா வச்சுக்கலாம்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.
புரியுதுங்களா கிளாஸ்? புரியுதா?
நல்லா புரியுது சார்.
ஓகே
சார், தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ.
குட் ஆஃப்டர்நூன் சார். சார் எனக்கு என்ன டவுட்னா, அந்த ஆஸ்ட்ரியன் வார் ஆஃப் சக்சஷன் இருக்குல்ல சார், அதுவும் 7 years வாரும் ஒன்னா சார், இல்ல வேற தானே சார்?
ஆஸ்ட்ரியன் வார் ஆஃப் சக்சஷன் வந்து கண்டினியூஸா தொடர்ந்து உள்ளார நடந்துட்டு இருக்கிற டிஸ்பியூட்லயே வந்து வரதான் வந்து 7 years வார். ஆஸ்ட்ரியன் வார் ஆஃப் சக்சஷன் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சீரியஸ் ஆஃப் வாருக்கு யூரோப்ல ஆஸ்ட்ரியன் வார் ஆஃப் சக்சஷன் சொல்லுவோம். இந்தியால வரும்போது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வார் ஆஃப் கர்நாடிக்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். கரெக்ட்டுங்களா?
ஆமா சார். 7 years வார் வந்து செகண்ட் கர்நாடிக் வார் சொல்றோம்.
செகண்ட் கர்நாடிக் வாரோட வரது. ஆனா ஆஸ்ட்ரியா ரிலேட்டடா தான் இஷ்யூ வந்து அங்கேயே இருந்துகிட்டே வந்து யூரோப்ல வந்து இருக்கும். அதனாலதான் வந்து அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க, அந்த 7 years வாரை வந்து பிரிட்டிஷும் ஆப்போசிட்ல பிரான்சும் ஸ்பெயினும் வந்து சண்டை போடுறாங்க.
ஓகே சார். அப்புறம் இன்னொரு டவுட் சார். இப்போ ஏன் சார் இப்போ ஆஸ்திரியாவுக்கு அவ்வளவு இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் தராங்க? அப்படி அதுல என்ன இருக்கு சார்? ஆஸ்ட்ரியன் சக்சஷன்ல ஏன் பிரிட்டிஷும் பிரெஞ்சும் இன்வால்வ் வராங்க?
ஆஸ்திரியால வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா there was no any successor to the throne. It is in a declining state. larger land வந்து அவைலபிலிட்டியா இருக்கு. டெரிட்டோரியல் யார் அந்த டெரிட்டோரியை வந்து கெயின் பண்றதுன்றதுக்குள்ளாத இவங்களுக்குள்ளார சண்டை.
ஓகே சார்.
டெரிட்டோரியல்
அப்புறம் லாஸ்டா வந்து அப்போ என்ன சார் ஆச்சு? இட் வாஸ் ஆஸ்ட்ரியா கேம் அண்டர் பிரிட்டிஷ் ஆர் பிரெஞ்ச் ஆர் அங்கே
Austria emerged as a successful state in the later period. அதே நம்ம பாப்போம். we are going to see that. While French Revolution படிக்கும்போது we are going to touch Austria. Later period we are going to touch Austria. So it was one of the strongest state and strongest empire in the European history. அது இருக்கு. இது இந்த டைம்ல தான் வீக்கா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா the time what we are discussing is Spain, Portugal, British are considered to be as a dominant இருக்கும். அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா after this that is going to be British is going to get dominance. France is going to get decline. அந்த மாதிரி success decline அந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒரு graph up and down போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கும். one country goes up, another country would come down. one country goes up, one country come down. அது வந்து it is like a graphical sinusoidal wave. அப்படிதான் போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கும். ஓகேங்களா?
ஓகே சார். தேங்க்ஸ் சார். கிளாஸ் நல்லா புரிஞ்சுது சார். ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் சார். இதே ஸ்பீட்ல இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும் சார். அப்படியே மெயின்டைன் பண்ணி.
எங்க இருந்து பேசுறீங்க? பேர் என்ன?
சென்னை சார். சிவப்பிரியா சார்.
ஓகே, சிவப்பிரியா, சென்னை. ஓகே.
தேங்க்யூ சார்.
அவ்வளவுதானா?